Food. It's in many ways the centre of our social life. Eating out, catching up with mates and satisfying those cravings. So what if you were told you had to dramatically alter your diet, avoiding gluten at all costs? If you didn't, you would continue increasing your risk of cancer, osteoporosis and other health complications. What if you were told you had celiac disease? For school teacher Sarah Galera, being faced with this proposition hit her with surprise. But shock wasn't the only thing. She, like many Australians, didn't know what celiac disease was, and after months of weight loss and feeling fatigued, the diagnosis she was desperately searching for left her even more confused.
I certainly never knew, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know how to say it. It was like Coeliac. And I remember thinking, like I couldn't even say it. I read it and I thought, what is this disease? And where does it come from? Like, I knew nothing.
For many sufferers, diagnosis is the biggest issue. Around 1 in every 100 Australians has celiac disease, and around 75% of those sufferers don't even know they have it. This is no surprise to dietitian Penny Delsberger from Coeliac Australia, who believes the disease isn't widely known.
It is a genetic condition, and basically it involves the immune system overreacting to gluten. And gluten's a protein found in wheat, rye, barley and oats. So it's a matter of avoiding those grains and any ingredients that come from them to manage the condition. Long term, if someone remains undiagnosed or they don't follow the diet properly, it can lead to long-term complications, things like cancer, osteoporosis, infertility, liver disease and just general ill health, poor quality of life.
But apart from the obvious need for a gluten-free diet, sufferers find there's a lot more to it than just keeping to these requirements. Simple things like going out for lunch and catching up with friends becomes a task.
I think the biggest thing is you have to be prepared. I can't kind of just go, let's just go for a walk and I just rock up and go into any cafe or go into any restaurant. You need to know where you're going ahead of time. You need to know what you can eat. You need to know that they've got at least one gluten-free option. Like, I think I was in some ways the worst person to get this disease because I love food so much. And like, that was like a big thing, you know, I loved eating out. I loved going places and eating with my family and friends. And so that was like a big thing for me.
Dr. Nina Medinsky is a Sydney-based GP. She empathises with sufferers who struggle with the dietary requirements. In her experience, patients find it hard to stick to this diet because food has become so social.
Look, I think because eating is a very social thing, so going to restaurants and I think any time that you're a bit restricted in what you can eat and what you can do, it would be restricting on your lifestyle. It's not a big deal, but I guess there's small things that, you know, might make it difficult, you know, to completely be completely involved in a certain social situation.
I think it does force you to be a little bit less picky with your options. And then it's frustrating as well because people say to you, like, and I get it, but they'll say to you, oh, but Sarah, you're so lucky because there's gluten-free on the menu. And you're like, yeah, but there's one thing, like, that's not lucky. There shouldn't be like there's one thing. Okay, yeah, that is lucky, but I think I would have done the same.
There's no doubt the most important measure after diagnosis is sticking to the gluten-free diet. A recent study by the University of Nottingham shows a steady improvement in the quality of life in comparison with the symptoms presented by sufferers after diagnosis and treatment.
Once someone is diagnosed with celiac disease, the management is purely that gluten-free diet. So there's no medication, there's no surgery, it's just sticking to that gluten-free diet, so avoiding the wheat, rye, barley, oats, and that allows all of that damage to heal.
Pablo, Vinales, UTS News.